Chapter 1. The Gathering Storm. The setting was Munich, Germany in the early 1940s. As Nazi Germany's totalitarian regime tightened its grip, a sense of dread and despair loomed over the country. In the midst of this darkness, a group of young university students began to feel the weight of tyranny pressing down upon their shoulders. Among them were siblings Hans and Sophie Scholl and their close friend Christoph Probst. Appalled by the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime, they felt a burning desire to resist. Chapter 2. The Seeds of Dissent. The seeds of dissent had been sown in the minds of these young students through years of education and exposure to liberal ideas. They found themselves unable to reconcile the ideals they had learned with the harsh reality of Nazi oppression. The realization that they had to take a stand and resist the regime began to take root. Chapter 3. The Birth of the White Rose. In the summer of 1942, Hans and Sophie Scholl, along with Christoph Probst, decided to form a clandestine resistance group. They chose the name Die Weiße Rose, or the White Rose, symbolizing purity, nonviolence, and the hope of a better future. Their mission was clear: to awaken the German people to the brutal realities of the Nazi regime and inspire them to resist. Chapter 4. Crafting a Message of Resistance. The White Rose members soon began crafting their message. They wrote and printed powerful anti-Nazi leaflets. These leaflets exposed the horrors of the Holocaust and the injustices committed by the regime, urging their fellow citizens to stand up against it. These messages were delivered with precision and care, designed to spark moral outrage and a sense of responsibility. Chapter 5. The Cat and Mouse Game. As the White Rose continued their subversive activities, the Gestapo, Nazi Germany's formidable secret police, intensified their efforts to hunt down the resistance members. The group operated under constant surveillance, using pseudonyms to protect their identities, but the Gestapo was closing in. Chapter 6. Arrest and Trial. In February 1943, the inevitable occurred. Hans and Sophie Scholl, along with Christoph Probst, were arrested by the Gestapo after being caught distributing leaflets at the University of Munich. Interrogations were brutal, but they refused to divulge any information about their fellow members. In a shocking turn of events, their trial took place within days, conducted by the notorious Judge Roland Freisler in the People's Court of Nazi Germany. Chapter 7. The Verdict. On February 22, 1943, Hans Scholl, Sophie Scholl, and Christoph Probst were sentenced to death. Despite the grim circumstances, they remained steadfast in their commitment to their ideals, showing incredible courage in the face of certain death. Chapter 8. The Ultimate Sacrifice. On the fateful morning of February 22, 1943, Hans, Sophie, and Christoph were executed by guillotine. Their sacrifice shook many Germans and had a profound impact on the anti-Nazi sentiment within the country. The White Rose's legacy began to spread like wildfire, inspiring others to resist the regime in various ways. Chapter 9. The Legacy Lives On. The courage and sacrifice of the White Rose members did not go in vain. Their story became an enduring symbol of resistance against totalitarianism. After the fall of Nazi Germany, the White Rose was celebrated as a symbol of courage, moral integrity, and the power of standing up against oppression. Chapter 10. Remembering the White Rose. Today, the White Rose is remembered as a beacon of hope and resistance during one of the darkest periods in human history. Museums, memorials, and educational programs exist to honor their memory and to remind the world of the importance of standing up against tyranny and defending human rights. The White Rose's story continues to inspire generations, serving as a reminder of the indomitable human spirit and the power of ordinary individuals to make an extraordinary impact when they refuse to remain silent in the face of injustice.